Well, Burnley are winning matches, but are they entertaining you? That's the question we're asking Dan and Jordan on this week's Where Clarets Walk. We're also looking at Burnley's Christmas fixtures, out-of-contract players for the summer, and with a third round coming up, draw next week, could Burnley care less? And if so, who do Dan and Jordan want in that draw? If you could fix it, all that to come, stay at the end of the video for that one. And because it's Christmas, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. We want to get up to 100 subscribers by the end, certainly of this week, if possible. Right, you two, the big question on everyone's social media trails is, are you entertained by this Burnley side? Dan?
A little bit, more than we were. I think certainly this Saturday, I think for 60 minutes, I've said it on Twitter and what have you, I thought we were almost, not quite, but back to being more forward, more pressing. We had more chances. We could have been 3 or 4 up. With the greatest respect to Bristol, I don't think that's an over-exaggeration. I think how Koleosho and Hannibal missed those chances. You know, Rodriguez hits the bar, Anthony puts one over. Trafford had very, very little to do until the last 30 minutes. I thought it was much improved, and it was a better game. I was slightly entertained, which is better than it has been.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this is because we have comments like this, Jordan. Don says 3 points is 3 points. Win pretty, win ugly, who cares? We're still where we want to be in the table up the Clarets. And do you subscribe with that, Jordan? Who cares how you're winning games? If it's boring, it's boring. We're going up.
Yeah, no, I do subscribe to that. And I also subscribe to, I am very entertained, right? I've been thinking about this all week, right? Let me tell you why I'm entertained. Because if you take the full factor and all the players we have out on injuries, if this was a City, I mean, look at City now, 5-game run, and what's the excuse you're using? We've not Rodri, we realistically don't have our full team yet, and we're still grinding wins out. So I'm entertained on the basis of we could have fallen and burnt, and we haven't.
Style of play, though, Jordan. I mean, you've had Deitch, you've had Company, you've now got Parker. Do fans deserve a little bit better given the money that's been spent on this squad in terms of style of play, or is that just a media lazy journalism point?
It's lazy journalism, and I'll tell you why. Right, so I remember being sat watching us get.
Yeah.
No, my reason being, no offense given then, but my reason being, I remember being sat there as a seven-year-old kid, you know, in the James Hargreaves, watching us get pumped by Colchester. So anything above that has always got to be progression. Now, if you say with Scotty P, could you say he's a mix of Vinny K and Sean Dyche? It's not always boring, like Dyche ball really was, and it's not always fantastic. Like if you could argue Vinny K ball were in the Championship, it's a middle ground, and I think he's going to start to cook. We've just got to give him a little bit more time.
Okay. Scotty P. How about that? Right. Okay. All right, then let's look at the actual nitty-gritty of this then, Dan. There's the table. The top 5 now. I put it to you that the top 5 now will be the top 5 when we finish the season, maybe in a different order. Would you agree with that on the basis of what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're looking in and around. You've always got that wild card that someone can make a late surge, but realistically, yeah, I think that's going to be it. I think people will be mad at me for this, but I think Sunderland may drop off. And I agree with Jordan that I think we've got better yet to come. I think we've had our difficulties, and I think we will go north of there. Where we finish, I don't know. But I think it's probably about right, the top 5 there.
Okay, what about you, Jordan? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I agree there's a lot more to come. And one of my biggest factors on thinking is, and he seems to be a bit of a forgotten name recently, is Aaron Ramsey is going to come back. Now, if we look back to before the Premier League season when he was playing for Middlesbrough, he was electric on that left side. We still have that to come in, which in turn would then give Koleosho a little bit of time, maybe to sit out a game, or maybe when he's subbed off, the impact is almost like for like, maybe not on pace, but you can see he's a guy that knows what he's doing. We've still got Foster to come back, and we realistically haven't seen Foster with Zian Fleming playing in behind him. How would that work? It's more, there's more chances for him because he's been living off scraps, but there's definitely more to come.
Okay. There's some other tweets then. Dan Harry says, wow, first 60 minutes, we decided to attack. The other 15 games, we can't have said the same, which I think echoes the point you were making. This was a nice one. This is from the club. The Clarets have conceded just 6 goals so far this season, the fewest of any team in the Championship history across the opening 16 games. It's solid at the back. And this was taken from our Bristol City fan we can see why, can't we? Bristol City in possession. And look just how he's got them set up. Very compact, very, very narrow. And you know what happens as soon as the ball goes out wide? They all move to left or right. Bristol City fans said Burnley's press was the best that they've seen of any team so far. It was so clinical when it happened, and everybody doing the same thing. So, hey, defensively, Dan, Scotty P's got it right, hasn't he?
He seems to. We did press them, we did harry them. Certainly, like that guy said, for the first hour, they barely got a sniff. And when they got the ball, we just took it back off them very, very quickly. I think towards the end, either we were getting tired or he did make some subs and they cut us open. But even when they got past us, Trafford was inspired for making a great save. So I think he has got that. You can't argue with the stats. You know, you can manipulate stats as best you want, but you can't argue with that. We've conceded 6 in 15, 16 games. That's shearing things up. And like Jordan was alluding to, we've still got Bayer on the bench. We've still got, what's he called? The Swedish guy. Ekdal's come back. We've still got other people who can come in and fill in and do a job. But at the minute, I think they're going to have to sit on the bench because you can't knock. I think we've had however many clean sheets. And, I think all the teams have scored. The most we've conceded in a game is 1. So he's doing something right. He's shearing us up. He just needs to then progress it up the top end a bit more.
Okay. If Leicester City, Jordan, want to sign him as their new manager, do you think he'd go?
Ooh, this is an odd one, but money talks. Depends what they come in with. Now, he's always one to say, oh, I've come from council estates, I stand on principles and things like that. Could this be a two-sided argument now to the fact of if Scotty P, does he want the job, and the Burnley fans want to invest in the Ruud van Nistelrooy situation? So I think it's a thing of two halves. I think with how he stands, I don't think he would go to Leicester because that isn't it. I mean, no disrespect to Leicester fans, but at the moment, that isn't a progressive club. They haven't moved on now from where they were 3 or 4 years ago. They're still relying on Vardy and things like that. They sold the best assets. I can't see that as progression where we are progression.
Okay. I mean, you could help Everton out and let him go and have Dyche back for us, and then everyone's happy.
I think that's run its course, though. I don't ever think Dyche Ball would ever work again, but it'd be a fantastic memento, if you will. I mean, we've got a pub named after him, but would it ever work again? I don't think it would.
Now remember, Jordan, X's are X's for a reason, and
exactly.
Yeah. Are you saying you weren't thrilled by your 0-0?
Not at all. More on that another time, though. Here's a very bitter Bristol City fan, and you'll see the point I'm making when we go through this. This is Matt, and Bristol City fan. He said, I never thought I'd say this, but I'd rather Leeds go up than Burnley. At least they wanted to play and go forward with no diving around or crying at the referee. Must be so hard having to watch that week in, week out. There are much better teams in this league. And that wasn't an isolated tweet either. Our Bristol City fans said that, there's dark arts and then there's Burnley dark arts. Are you seeing a bit more of that, Dan, in your side, that you are throwing yourselves around a little bit more and time wasting?
I don't.
To the degree where it's ridiculous.
I'm not so sure. I think he's bitter. Is that bloke? I thought, for 60 minutes we were all over him, and there was no dark arts. I think towards the end, maybe the last 10, 15, we were realizing we're under the cosh. So we did things that every team does. We weren't doing anything special or anything untoward. Diving, I don't think there was much diving. We did get away with a handball towards the very, very end, but that's not our fault. Lauren gets a break and he goes into the corner. So what? I say you win football games. Stop whinging. Win a few more, then we'll talk.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that game there. Before we do, though, 300 appearances for Burnley. Jay Rodriguez this weekend. Jordan, just a couple of words on your favourite Jay Rodriguez's moments.
I've got way too many now. But my favourite ever moment of Jay Rodriguez was when he scored against Tottenham in the Carling Cup was it 2009? Because I remember being a very young boy, sat in front of the fire at home. My dad had got home from work and he was falling asleep, and every time he shut his eyes, we scored, and that was the whole gig. And then when we went 2-0 up, he went, "Sod it, son, I'm going to sleep. We might win." And then the third goal went in. So that for me has to be his most iconic moment. And just putting his hand up as if to say he knew he was going to be something special. I've met the man. He's down to earth. He's a brilliant guy. He'll always be a club icon.
Dan?
Well, I don't think you could beat what Jordan said there, but my personal one, for very different reasons, we were playing, I think it was Portsmouth or Plymouth, I think it was Portsmouth, and we drew 1-1. He scored a very, very good goal, but the reason why it always sticks in my memory is my then girlfriend, now wife, was sitting across and it was snowing, and I was on with my dad, and he said, "Where's your girlfriend?" He said, "Well, do you see that snowman over there? That's she was just sitting out in the snow. She won't leave until the very, very last kick." And we saw her celebrate when she jumped up, all the snow fell off her, which is why that it's not a very much J-Rod story, but for me personally, it's just one that always reminds me.
Okay, brilliant. Let us know your own Jay Rodriguez's moments in the comments below. Right, let's move on then. It's Christmas fixtures now. So, let's have a look at these. Coventry, of course, this week. We're recording this before that result and away at Stoke at the weekend, which we'll discuss in a minute. I mean, it's great for fans, this, Jordan, but do you think 9 games, so there's 8 here, but New Year's Day is on there, but 9 games in 30 days is too much?
Well, we go to work every day, don't we? I've never understood that when they say about tiredness and things. I used to go out with my mates on like a Saturday at 9 o'clock, kick a ball about until 8 o'clock in the evening, and still get up and do it again next day.
Okay.
No, I like a bit of congestion because there's a constant excitement, and even if you do lose a game or a player's confidence could be slightly knocked in a game, it's all right. Dust yourself off, 3 or 4 more days, go again, right your wrongs. So it sometimes can be a blessing.
Okay. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to these Middlesbrough games. Friday night in a couple of weeks at home, and then you go to the Riverside just as the year ends, Dan. That's going to tell us a lot, isn't it, about Burnley's defence? Can they cope with a Middlesbrough side who score goals for fun? But I mean, do you look at this and think actually this is not bad as a Christmas schedule? Norwich away, Sheffield United away could be tricky as well.
Yeah, you look at Coventry, Stoke, Derby, you're thinking, all right, then Watford to a lesser extent. But then you've got, Borough twice, they're 5th and they're scoring for fun. You've got Sheffield United who are top, or second top now, I think they are. And Norwich who are pushing thereabouts. It's a long way to go, that mid of December, to play. So it's a decent run of fixtures. It's, it's not the worst that we could have possibly had, but it's not an easy by a full stretch. I know what Jordan says about too many, too congested and what have you. That being said, to play that high level football it's only 90 minutes. They do get recompensed well for it, but I imagine it could be a bit jarring on the legs.
Okay. Of course, we're also starting to discuss the January transfer window. Before we get to new players, let's talk about the players you've got and which ones are out of contract and what discussions need to start to be had. These are they. Ignoring the green loans for a minute, Jordan. Brownhill, Roberts, Redmond, Egan, and the man himself, JR. What would you be doing in terms of extensions, offers, or see you later conversations?
You've got to be keeping. I'll do it. A quick thing from front to back.
Yeah.
Brownhill, that's nailed on. You need to get him down to a few more years. Sarmiento has been an absolute impact player. Will he stay with us? I don't know. If we could, fantastic. Roberts, take him, leave him, really. You know what I mean? He does a job, but there is always better out there, maybe. Jadon Anthony, he's a strange one because he'll take his first touch at a game and I'll go, oh, Jesus, why you want team sheet again? And then he'll pop up with some brilliance. And I think I don't know how to think about you. So it could be a bit of a thing maybe to build on. Redmond, keep. You've got to. His knowledge of football is frightening. Bashir Humphreys, he's done nothing but impress me. I think he's been fantastic. So you've got to get back on for him. Fleming, on his day, and I don't think we've seen it yet, that boy will shine. Egan, that is a really good player to have as your experience. And Gerrard, I think you've got to keep him maybe for another year. Let's do it a year at a time. The reason being because he's so reliable.
Very comprehensive. Dan, do you disagree with anything that Jordan's gone through there?
It's not going to be popular, but for me, I know he said Brownhill's nailed on. I'm not a fan. I appreciate others are. I think sometimes he's too very negative. So I wouldn't be. I personally, I know he's our club captain and what have you, but I personally wouldn't be too sad if he left. That being said, he does offer something to the squad. Roberts, I agree with. I think Sarmiento and Anthony, I agree with what Jordan said. Redmond, I've not seen enough of him, but he's played at top levels. Humphries and Fleming again. Egan, it's unclear why we've bought him. He hasn't kicked a ball for us yet. And when the others come back from injury, I think he slips down the list. So he's a squad player at best. And Rodriguez, I think we're holding on to, years gone by. He's a servant of the club. He's a hero. He can walk into anywhere and everyone will love him. If we go up, does he get a game? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I do agree with that. I think my emotions got the better of me.
We'll allow it. All right, cheers for that then. And finally, it is FA Cup second round action this weekend. That means the draw for the third round will be made before we meet again. So I don't think you could care less about the FA Cup, actually, reading your faces. But I'm going to ask you anyway. Who would you like in the third round of the FA Cup? At what ground and why? Dan, kick us off.
I'll give you two very quick answers. I'd either want a non-league team at the turf to give them an hammer in and get some goals going and play our first team, or I'd rather a big team away at theirs and play our kids. Either smash someone and get through, or give our second team a run out and probably get beat and go out. I don't think the cup's our priority this season. I think it's nice to have a run in it, etc. But I think I don't know, Burton at the turf. I'll take. I don't know about Jordan.
I would not have predicted that answer if you didn't give me 100 guesses. Jordan?
I've given this some good thought past couple of hours, and I did think at first I thought I don't really care about the FA Cup, and I was going to go with what Dan said, let's just get a nobody team and get a few goals. However, I did remember that we drew with our neighbours to the side. Get them back at the turf and let's reroute this wrong. Let's give them an absolute stuffing at the turf.
Okay. Could you not enjoy that? What if they knocked you out? Then you'd be reminded of it forevermore, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but they'll be reminded that we won the league at their ground, so it kind of...
Fair enough. All right. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Right. Enjoy your games then this week. We'll see you on the other side of some more entertaining chats on the most entertaining team in the Championship. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.